you said you weren't gonna do a video today. You said you're only gonna do 2 videos a week. Yeah, well, I lied. You didn't even tell anybody you were gonna do 2 videos a week. You just told yourself that like 5 hours ago. Yeah, I was gonna. But I don't know why I feel the verge, the urge, the surge to say something. What are you gonna say, Mike? My name's not Mike. How many fucking times I gotta tell you that? My name's Mark. I heard that new Beatles song. Pretty sweet, eh? I don't know if anyone else heard it, but I fucking did. That was something special. Now, there are elements of it that I'm like, man, the background vocals sound like Because. A Beatles song called Because, which was on Abbey Road. There's sections that sound like that. I'm like, I wonder if they reused it. I don't know, it just sounded like that. It really did. I'm like, that sounds like them in Because. Maybe that's my imagination. But I think that was really good. What happened was, for those of you that don't know, back in 1995 or 4, I don't remember, they were doing a Beatles anthology. They're like, we're going to have a whole, you could buy them on VHS or you could buy them as DVDs, I think at the time. But it was like a long series of the story of the Beatles, right? From their youth to like them breaking up and shit. And they wanted to do something special. So George, Paul, and Ringo got together, you know, because they were editing, not editing, but like okaying things and being like, yeah, that's fine. And we can do interviews and all this shit. But they said, let's do a couple Beatles songs, like the last Beatles songs. And Yoko gave them 3 demos of John Lennon's. Well, the Beatles ended up doing Real Love, which is one of my favorite Beatles songs, and Free as a Bird. And it was the last Beatles songs in the 90s. And they were going to do a 3rd one, but it ended up just being too much of a fucking hassle technologically. So they put it aside. But they ended up, like, George was on it already. It's like because they were demoing it and shit. Well, years later, fucking last year I guess it was, Paul and Ringo were like, let's finish that motherfucker. The technology finally exists so we can finally do this. So they did. And it was kind of cool. And they had John's lead vocals on it. I don't know if Paul played the piano or if they broke him apart from the piano. I don't remember why they didn't want him stuck to the piano. Because he would do a lot of what anyone would fucking do is like when you were demoing songs, you just get your tape recorder out, hit record, and then, you know, play your piano and sing along. Well, they wanted to break his vocals apart from the piano. It was a whole thing. I don't know why. Maybe there was some out of sync. Maybe there was a tuning thing. I don't know. Personally, I'd be like, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm like, we'll fuck with it. We'll see what we can do. Now, George already laid down some rhythm guitars. I understand it. And as I listen to it, it sounds like an acoustic guitar. I don't know if there was more to it. I can't tell. To be honest, I think the bass is a little muddy to my liking, but whatever. There was probably a reasoning for that. You know, we're talking about millions of dollars here, so there's probably reasons behind that shit. Like they're trying to hide stuff, and it was cool though, because technically it was a John Lennon song, and the other 3 guys were on it. So it was the last Beatles song. How fucking cool is that? We lived, if you're my age, I lived through 3 new Beatles songs. How fucking sweet is that? I lived in that life. You know, for me, the Beatles are the biggest fucking thing in my life when I discovered them. And they're huge to me. And I just was very, very excited to see that happen. It was really cool. And I listened to that song. It's only been out for probably like 3 or 4 hours. I've listened to it probably like 10 times already. Over and over and over and over and over again. And it's the first time in a long time I heard a song and I loved it instantly. I've never, and I was joking to my wife, I was like, technically I like a modern song, finally. Usually the songs I like are at least a decade old. But well, more than that now, 2 decades old, because I don't really like the teens. But yeah, it's like, it's cool. I like a modern song, but it happened to be a new Beatles song. How cool is that? I'm just mind blown about that, man. It's crazy to me. It's very haunting. I find it personally, and sad. There are elements of John Lennon singing "Now and Then I Think of You." I don't know who he's talking about, because probably at that portion of his life he was living with Yoko and he had a son and stuff. I don't know if he was singing about his son, his other son, or if he was singing about Paul or some other friend of his life in his life. I don't know, but there was a hauntingness to it. It was very clever. I wonder if Paul said "We miss you too." I can't tell, but it's crazy, dude. It really is. It's very, very, just, I don't know. You know, there's people that might kind of think maybe they don't like it necessarily because they had to use that kind of technology, but it's no more than just somehow the computer knows how to take a element from a mix. So like, because you don't have access to whatever the fuck that was called again, it's been too long since I did this shit, but it was all on tracks. Like the guitar's on this track, the bass is on that track, the drums are on that one. Well, that's before the mix, so it's easy to access those individual parts. But when the song's already been mixed, finally, and released, it's all in one wave. It's all been combined. It's no longer separate. So when something like a vocal has a piano on it, it's stuck. For the longest time, it was stuck. It was like, you can't do nothing about that. There's like tricks to it, I guess, but nothing I fucking know about. Like before, like this technology was invented. But now we can kind of take the vocals and separate them from the music, which originally is that piano, like I said. It's very crazy, man. Very crazy. Very nuts, as they say. It's getting nuts in here. I just can't believe it. It's cool. I like it because it made me melancholy, and I'm about sad music. I love sad music. I like sadness. It's for whatever reason. I can't tell you why. But I'm never really the guy that listens to the upbeat kind of songs, or, you know, the fucking happy-go-lucky shit, you know, Mr. Blue Sky. You know, I'm not really into that. I'm into the sad shit, you know, I'm into the depressing stuff. So to me, that's where it's all at. And this song, to me, had a very melancholy feel to it. The melody he chose was very haunting, if you understand me. Very haunting. It's like, it's stuck in my head. I wish, if I had to gripe, if I had to, like, come on, pick something to bitch about, okay. Yeah, like I said, I think it was a little muddy in certain areas on the low end. Don't ask for technical terms because I can't give it to you. I was never that guy in the mixing room. I was like, make it like more like wind chimes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we don't know. I don't either. But I was like, I think it could be, I think the bass was, it was too low for me, because I'm a bassist, so this is a bassist thing. It was a little too low, and it was too, like, muddy. It was just too in there, it seemed to me. Again, to me. This is just my opinion. Maybe that's just a modern thing, I don't fucking know, but I wanted the bass to be bright, and I was expecting Paul to do the whole bloop, 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 you know, like the fucking dancey shit, you know, the melodic stuff, but I couldn't tell a whole lot that he was, but then again, I didn't study it. Let's get that out of the way. I just wanted to talk about that song. Very cool. Very cool. I'll release this as its own little video. I hope I don't, like, I'm not trying to jump on something here, but that's my opinion about it.